Just when you thought Sportswire Radio wasn't going to be on tonight because of technical difficulties, poor Wi-Fi connections, have no fear because we brought in the big guns. We brought in the money, 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 the future, now the present of the backyard wrestling circuit. A man that has certainly shown that he can hang with some of the very best. But tonight might be a little different for our reigning defending STBW World Heavyweight Champion because there's going to be some things that he's going to say that maybe might even surprise some of you out there. So I'm going to introduce this man, but before I do that, since we haven't been on, we were supposed to have been on earlier tonight, but that'll be rescheduled to Tuesday at 7 o'clock Eastern time. I still have to give this man that introduction that he deserves because he has shown that he is a prime time player. He is here now on the biggest stage, the only platform where all wrestling matters, and we are here in the bright lights, and he has shown with that victory over Sean Jovi that he definitely deserves to be in those bright lights. So let me give our guest that championship-like introduction to show that he is now the president of the backyard and the underground wrestling circuit here on Sportswire Radio, the number one global radio station. So with without further ado, here on the Sports Report, number one global sports show. The man that is the reigning, defending STBW undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Nolan. Money, 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 money. Everybody's got a price. The champ is here. Champ, how are we doing?
It's a Sunday night. It's football night. We're here on the brightest light, Sportswire. I could not be any better. How about you, Mr. Reverend Tom Bryce?
Oh, I think I'm doing just fine because we are on, after all, here live on Sportswire Radio. We are like New York City, the city that never sleeps. Sportswire Radio never sleeps, never stops, and for some good reasons. And it's always good to be with you, my friend. Certainly, you have been a topic in this platform, on this community, and everywhere else in between over the past few weeks. Certainly your historic victory over Sean Jovi in that War Games elimination match between WC and STBW. But also you have been battling with some of the greats that have been here on this platform over the past several years. You've definitely held your own, but I want to say something a little different to you today. I know you were battling certain individuals. I'm sure you'll see them tomorrow and throughout the week, like the names of Omen Black and Soldier GP and Anthony Steele. You've been certainly compared to him for different reasons. James Taylor, the ROEW owner. But Nolan Money McDermott, maybe it's time to recalibrate. Maybe it's time to focus and find those that are like you, because believe it or not, Nolan Money McDermott, there are those, and there is somebody else that I'm thinking that's just like you in many ways, battling these veterans, battling, as you have said in the past, dinosaurs, amongst others. And for those that are listening and watching here in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all wrestling matters here, Nolan Money McDermott, do you think maybe it's time to recalibrate and maybe find those that are like you?
See, I've been thinking over this past week. I have my goals. I have my sets. I have exactly what I want to do, and everything I said I wanted to do, I still plan on doing. However, I'm pivoting
Good.
because Tyler Fury, he ain't gonna help. Dalton the Executioner, he called himself his own chicken shit on our own show.
On TikTok, a lot of people were talking about that, by the way.
Peyton the Peacemaker is nowhere to be found. So
Who?
now it's time where I'm on my own. I'm on my own island. I'm on my own pedestal here on Sportswire. I have all these names spewing at me, all these demons trying to get into my mind. But it's time where I've been scouting, and there's so many people that are in my position that know what I'm doing, what I'm talking about, what from my perspective. And like you said, there are many people who can just quite understand where I'm coming from.
And I know you've done a lot. You've certainly held your own. You've hung in there with these guys, and that's commendable because there have been guys in the past, over the past year and a half, that haven't been able to do that. And they're obviously nowhere to be found, but you've certainly held your own. You've kept fighting, but maybe it's time to focus and find people like you. Find people that might believe in the same things and also may have those same causes because, obviously you've come from the trampoline. Now you're starting to make that transition into the ring. And there are a lot of people out there like you in this circuit that may be on, let's say, the mat or the trampoline or even the ground, let's say, that might want to believe in some of the same things that you've been fighting for here these past several months. Don't you think?
Absolutely. There's so many people in my position. We're fighting for our spot at the top. We're getting rid of these old people and making our name for ourselves, paving our own way. We don't care about the way that other people carved us. We want to pave our own way. And you see, I've been battling Sportswire's
You
Avengers.
have been battling these guys, and tonight it's not about them. Actually, tonight they're going to get their story tomorrow. They're going to get their story throughout the week. But this is a little different because I think because we were talking about this. I mean, you've obviously, it seems like from what you were telling me, you've maybe want to recalibrate. You might maybe want to, let's say, I don't know, maybe talk about those that might feel the same like you.
Oh, absolutely. You see, I mean, there's many people out there that I've been scouting, in the Midwest. Everyone wants to call themselves the best in the Midwest. They want to say that they run the Midwest, right? And you mentioned someone that's been on the ground.
On the ground.
Exactly who you're talking about. There's angels and there's demons. And
Angels and Demons. That was a Dan Brown book, right?
I'm not sure. I don't read.
Oh, yeah. I figured you're a busy man. You're obviously making money. You're not reading any books, right?
Absolutely. I should make my own.
Yeah. Maybe you should, after the last few weeks, that victory over Sean Jovi, maybe you should maybe write some books. Maybe write a book on that victory you had over him in another state and just what that meant to you.
Oh, 100%. And we're talking about all these people. They're people that are just like me, that are in my position. You see, I'm all these people talking about me. They're veterans in this business. Now, we'll get to them another day. However, I'm noticing, I'm scouting, I'm going on YouTube, I'm going everywhere that I possibly can.
Oh, you've been scouting now. That's very mature.
Oh yeah, because like we mentioned, Tyler, Dalton, Peyton, they're nowhere to be found, and I could use a little bit of help against some of these guys. I can admit that. I can use a little help, whether it's the ring, the trampoline, the ground, the pool. It doesn't matter where that they wrestle. But we need to get rid of some of these old guys. And like you mentioned, I think it's might be time to pivot and talk to some new faces.
Because, you've been battling these guys, but they've been around. I mean, these guys, they certainly may not always see eye to eye, but when it comes to things like this, they're going to definitely see eye to eye. So you can't keep fighting these battles where it's 1 against 6, 1 against 7. I mean, you might want to focus on, building a network, maybe building your own community, because there are guys out there that they might believe in the same causes, because there were guys out there that they were saying the same things before you were in many ways.
Oh, absolutely. We all want the same thing. We're fighting for the same thing. We're getting our spot. We're putting our flag into the ground, and we're trying to take our spot. Like, we don't want to be known as some some young people who can't hang with the rest. We want to be known as the up and comers, the next generation. Hell, the people that the next generation of young guys are going to be trying to knock us off of the pedestal. We want their position. We want to have those titles. We want the glory. See, we want this to be our show.
And you feel that right now, the way you're going, maybe your brethren in Kewanee, they haven't been helping you get there, right?
Oh, absolutely. Tyler's going off doing his own thing. Peyton's nowhere to be found. Dalton's a chicken shit. It's time for the recruitment phase.
And maybe that was something that you've thought about your past few appearances on Sportswire, because, you were outnumbered, you were outgunned, and these guys, they were, talking about whether you confirmed a challenge or didn't confirm a challenge, but maybe it made you reevaluate the future. Maybe it made you reevaluate basically how you're going about this,
Absolutely. I still have my goals. Everything I said, everything I mentioned these past few times on Sportswire will happen one way or another.
You need allies to accomplish those.
Exactly. Exactly. Because from my point of view, I'm not in this battle alone. Now, whether it's 1v20, 2v20, whether it's me and a few other guys taking down the entire field of players, there will be people standing behind my back, and it might not be the people that you might think.
Really? That you may not think. I mean, that's rather interesting, because I don't know what and who I would think would be aligned with you. But I mean, there have been people that come on here. It's interesting because we get people from all backgrounds. We get people who are in the professional wrestling world, the independent wrestling scene. We get people that come on from the backyard, the underground, wherever it might be. So that could be from anywhere in those pools, right? That's a large pool, right?
Yeah. Now, if I have to recruit somebody that's 1,000 miles away, so be it. Mm-hmm. However, no matter what, I will go into this battle. I'll have people by my side. My DMs have been open. I have been reaching out. I've been talking to a lot of names. Now, I don't know what's so bad about me, as everybody says, but I guarantee you there's people that are going to stand side by side in this fight.
Well, do you think that people view you in a negative way, or what do you think people view you as? What have you thought about that? I mean, I know obviously you're a very busy man. That historic victory over Sean Jelvey, maybe it's obviously something you focused on, but do you think people think of you in any way, or in a negative way even, good sir?
They look down on me. They say that I run my mouth. They say that I write checks that I can't cash.
I've heard that. You sure?
But the point is that they just don't understand what I'm doing. They don't understand the plan. They don't understand. As far as I'm concerned, they're just giving me what I want. And that's the spotlight. I've taken every single spotlight from every single guy on here. I've made a name for myself when people, they question who I am, and now they know exactly who I am.
So in many ways, you feel like you accomplished what you intended to do. It's just a matter of maybe you need allies to really basically accomplish the ultimate end goal, correct?
Absolutely.
That's a good way to look at it. While you're here for the first time, STBW's got a YouTube channel. Go give him a sub. I will say hello to some people here in the chat. We were supposed to have been here with the Brooklyn Prodigies, who are going to be here Tuesday night, 7 o'clock Eastern time. Very excited about that. But let me say hello to some people before I get to a surprise, let's just say. Let's get to the comments here from the beginning of when we were supposed to be here. Chase Wakefield, my eyes deceived me. I was finally excited to see the Prodigies. And it's actually Nolan Money McDermott. Have you gotten the wedding invitation yet?
I have not gotten a wedding invitation. And what's so bad about me, Chase?
Well, he's disappointed, but the Prodigies are here Tuesday at 7. They'll be here Tuesday at 7. But I guess, maybe you can crash the wedding. Maybe you'll crash it, right?
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to show up in style. And if I have to, I'm going to jump in that ring and knock everybody in my way.
Well, you very well may do that. That's certainly a distinct possibility. And while you want to do that, go hit the sub button for our friends in STBW. Zilla definitely was waiting for this one. Zilla's in the house. I want to give a big shout out to my buddy, Barry Gutman. Barry's on a couple different places. Let me give Barry's Twitch a follow because I think, Barry, are you on Twitch right now? Or are you doing double test? No, Barry's actually not doing any Twitch right now streams. He's going to be on his stream tomorrow. But while you are here, go give Barry a follow. Barry's on Twitch. He's got 431 follows. Give him to 432. So if you're on Twitch, go give him a follow. And Barry's giving us a bunch of emojis. Thank you. Yes, for that. Yes, we got a bunch of emojis. Barry's here on YouTube. Thank you for that. Thank you very much. How we all doing today? Let's go that. Yes, Larry Gutman, Larry and Barry. We got Brandon Hardcore Hobbs. How are you, Brandon? We got a wave and emojis. We got Ox McCoy. What's up, Tom and Nolan? I have a question. How many Gutmans are there? 3. Well, you got Mom, Dad, and Barry. Well, or his brother. No, it's his brother. Management's here, obviously from a company that I guess I suppose you work from, but Larry, Barry, and Jerry, not quite, just 2 today. Brandon says you need to work harder. Well, I guess we'll find out. We'll have to see what the surprise is coming. Hi to my favorite wrestlers in the centers. Yes, Ox is here, so that's 1 in plural. We got multiple Gutmans here. I'm reminded. Congratulations to Mr. Money on your huge success. And yes, you did eliminate the resident rock star of WC. But remember, Sean Jovi has beat you 1-on-1. And there is also another guy who's little. But remember, you got that big victory over Jovi, though. Don't focus on that. You got that victory over Jovi, and that's still a pin in the record books. You have pinned Sean Jovi. You have pinned him, and he's not here tonight. So remember, you have pinned him, and Jovi's not here. So definitely, Jovi may be getting ready for his 200th vlog, but you're here right now. And you have shown that you still want to be here. And Nolan is a hard worker, and he's definitely performing. Yes, well, you're going to find out shortly. Barry's just chilling, and we hope Barry gets some more followers on his Twitch page. But so really, in a way, what did you learn then from the last week dealing with these big names that, obviously were giving you a hard time? So, what did you learn from this experience with these guys? Omen Black, Soldier GP, James Taylor. I mean, what did you learn from these guys? Comatose, some others. What did you learn from them?
See, with these guys, I've known them, most of them, for a long time. I mean, some of them I sat front row and watched them perform. And the only question I had in my head is, why am I not in there? And this past week, talking to those same guys, them disrespecting me, all that stuff, I've learned that as much as I want to talk, as much as I want to do to every single one of them, no. That's not the plan. I'm not gonna give them that gift and that pleasure. I'm gonna come at them even harder. You see, I got every heavy artillery in the book. And with that being said, I'm recruiting. I am looking for anybody.
So these guys don't know you as what they think. Then these guys don't really know you to that degree. Then.
Oh, absolutely not. If they think that I'm just gonna storm in there all by myself, then guess what? You're wrong. Because I am in a position where I am pivoting. I have learned that you're right. No, I cannot go at them one by one and target every single one of them. I cannot go in there facing each single one of those guys on my own. So that being said, might have to receive some help from some people you might not expect.
So that, I think, in a way shows that maybe you are a lot more intelligent than maybe those veterans thought you were, because maybe they just thought that, obviously that you were just going out there firing shots without really worrying about who to intend and target. And I think maybe that's what you've come across here, it sounds like, tonight.
Oh, yeah. You see, I went 1-10, and that's to steal the spotlight. That's to make them know who I am. And every single one of them wanted to jump on and talk to me. So as far as I'm concerned, plan 1 of the mission is complete. Now we move on to the second phase.
Ooh, phase 2. I didn't realize there was a phase 2. I didn't realize that there was a phase 2, and management says that they have received an offer. You have improved. You can go and have the fire. I'm not quite sure what's the meaning of that. I don't know. Do you know what that meaning of that is?
I have no clue.
Nope. No. Okay, well, I mean, okay, so that's fair.
What's the offer?
Well, I know what I was hoping that you would really do. That would be wrestling Chaz J there for the WC All Out Championship. But I think what tonight will do is maybe just for a few moments tonight, put a slight detour there. I know you obviously want to continue to, build your name, build more championships under your resume. But I think tonight will certainly maybe lay the groundwork. And obviously, there'll be the transition. Everybody right now is thinking about a transition. We have a new president coming in by January 25th, and we have a transition team. And I think maybe this is where you're going to start to build your leadership team, your transition team for what you want to do and taking over being the president of the backyard and the underground wrestling. So I think tonight is almost your state of the backyard and the underground wrestling union. Almost, it's your address, Nolan Money McDermott, because obviously you've seen, maybe you've learned, like that individual that may have won the election last Tuesday, where, he had lost in his election in 2020, and he had to go start all over. Maybe from what's happened to you, Nolan Money McDermott, over the past week or two on Sportswire, you've had to go back to the drawing board, and you've had to figure out what could potentially work for you in order to potentially do what you've intended to do here, which is be the man who sits at the top, the man who sits at the mountaintop of the backyard and the underground wrestling circuit.
See, if I want backup, I can obviously go to the 3 names I've already mentioned. I can go to my STBW cornerstones, but the point is...
Well, Tyler Fury's busy right now, and he's going to Iowa next weekend. Dalton, the executioner, didn't seem like he was on the same page, and Peyton's MIA. So, I mean... it's not a foregone conclusion that those guys are aligned with you. I mean, Tyler's had a great relationship with those in Iowa that certainly was saying things about you. He's definitely not stepping in that. Dalton, the executioner, basically wanted no part of that. And we don't really know where Peyton stands. So there's no guarantee that your brethren in Kewanee feel the same way as you. They don't.
They don't. No, they don't. Tyler
and they haven't been here. Only Dalton's been here waving the flag. Dalton was here once, but it's you. You've been here. You've been the only one that's been waving that flag since Halloween. It's been 11 days. It's been 11 days just about now. Officially in 25 minutes, it's 11 days since that historic showdown. And you've been consistently, time and time again, the only one that's been here. Tyler, who knows? Dalton, he was here, and we saw how that went. And Peyton, I don't think he has anything to say. So really, you've been fighting this battle alone. You've been fighting alone.
Absolutely. You see, the people that I call my STBW brethren, Peyton, me and him, we have a few things in common. Me and Tyler, me and Dalton, we go way back. But it's time to put them aside in this fight. This isn't their fight. This is a fight that clearly I can't trust them. I can't have them behind my back. We've seen how Dalton went down, as you said. Tyler, he works for them. Peyton, no clue. But I'm not the only one who's waving that flag, putting my foot in the ground. I'm not the only one in the backyard scene who's making a name for themselves. Nah. There's people that have been doing this for longer than me. There's people that have been doing this way more than me. And that's the people that I want on my team. That's the people that I want standing behind me.
And you were waving that flag when other guys were coming on here from the trampoline and on the ground and on the mat, and you were waving that flag, and you've been consistent with that. Whereas Tyler Fury, I mean, listen, he's been able to, some would even say, piggyback his way into championship match after championship match and big name after big name he wrestles. So we don't know if he feels the same way that you do. We don't. Dalton, the executioner, I mean, he was scared. He was scared. You weren't. You went into the Lions Den with those guys, and you hung in there. But it also showed that, you know what? You were the guy all these months that was waving this flag, waving the flag for those that were on the trampoline, those that were on the ground, the youth of the backyard, the young whippersnappers. You were the one doing those things. And it made you reevaluate and rethink the plans, because you couldn't keep doing what you've been doing here the past 3 or 4 appearances on Sportswire. You couldn't keep going into the Lions Den like that. It's not going to last.
I did something when people say sink or swim. I swam my whole way through.
You did.
However, I'm only human. I was in there with a tank full of sharks. They had so much more to say to me. They had everything that I said. They fired exactly right back at me. I had someone coming in this angle. Everybody wanted a piece of me. Now, I'll admit that wasn't the smartest idea. I got what I wanted accomplished. However, I have a whole lot more on my hands, and I have a whole lot more I have to deal with. Next year, 2025 is going to be the year of Nolan Money McDermott, and that's established. And hell, that might start even sooner than you think.
But 2024, we're still in. We have a lot of time left in 2024, and you can't get to 2025 unless you get through 2024. And in order to get to where you want to be, you have to build. Listen, Rome wasn't built in a day. We look at baseball, right? We look at this year's Los Angeles Dodgers. They didn't win the World Series right away. They had to go build. They had to go sign players. They had to go learn from past mistakes. They had to learn from postseason failures. The Kansas City Chiefs have won multiple Super Bowls. Well, they didn't win multiple Super Bowls every time. They had to learn from their failures. They had to learn from their mistakes. The Boston Celtics won the NBA championship this year. I mean, how many times did the Boston Celtics come up short, whether it was in the Eastern Conference Finals, the NBA Finals? They had to learn from those mistakes. And Nolan Money McDermott, your past few appearances on Sportswire Radio, you've had to learn from those shows. You've had to learn from going into the Lions Den. You had to learn from dealing with those sharks. You had to learn from just whether you had basically no choice but to either sink or swim. And it was very uphill, but you survived. You certainly had some scratches. You had some marks, but it's made you reevaluate just what's ahead. And the only way, if you're going to achieve your goals and your desires in the backyard and the underground wrestling circuit, you need to find like-minded fellows.
Absolutely. See, the people that I talk to, they're above me. They're veterans in this business, and I've been strategizing. I've been pivoting. I'm getting people on my own level who think and breathe the exact same way that I do, who strategize the exact same way that I do. Now, don't get me wrong. What the people said they got coming to them. However, it's not just me they're gonna have to worry about. It's not just me who think the same thing. It's not just me who think the same way. On this platform, I've met so many people. A lot of people know who my name is. A lot of people know who I am, and it's going to continue to be like that. It's going to continue to go down like that.
And you've needed that because there have been people that have gotten to hear your name. You have definitely made your name heard loud and clear. You have definitely made the backyard, the underground wrestling, and even the independent wrestling circuit know who you are. You've made them, whether people agree with the approach, whether they agree with the strategy, but that is kind of in many ways reminiscent to some of those names you've battled with. Names like Anthony Steele, sort of. I don't know where you guys still stand, but names like Omen Black and Soldier GP. That's what they did. That's how they made their names. James Taylor. He always makes his name that way. So really, you're doing no different than what those individuals did. They just did it first.
Absolutely. I did the exact same thing that they did. Half of them started on a trampoline, right?
And they started here on this platform, going into other shows, introducing themselves, letting people know who they were on other platforms and other Instagram lives and Facebook lives and whatever else that they design. Again, we appreciate that. We love that. But the facts are, Nolan Money McDermott, you've found somebody that believes in what you're doing, somebody that agrees in your cause, somebody agrees in everything that you've been fighting for. And that's what it comes down to here.
First of all, who are we talking about here?
That's a great question, and I'm going to let the world find out here very shortly because we don't want to tip our hand because, I mean, from what we've spoke about, you didn't want to tell the audience until this individual would certainly show himself and reveal himself to the world that he felt the same as you and he felt the same things and he believes in your cause because he's had similar battles. He's had similar instances he's been going through. And we don't want to tip our hand just yet because we want the world to see it. We want the world to see it in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage here. And Liz would like to say that she agrees with you. You made a name for yourself by defeating Sean Jovi. You did in that historic show that people are still watching right now. People are still watching it. Hundreds upon hundreds of viewers watch that historic backyard brawl, the Devil's Playground, where you showed that you definitely belong on the playground. You definitely showed that. And I think that that's obvious what we're going to find out. We're going to definitely find out. And I mean, it's exciting. I think it's showing that maybe you've matured. You've learned a lot. Sometimes you have to learn in your battles. And I think that's what you've done. What do you think your brethren in Kawani will think about this when we see this here very shortly?
See, the thing about them in Kiwani, Tyler Fury, he's been making moves. I mean, he's been in IMF for over a year. Dalton, I mean, he's Dalton. Peyton, as you said, but they're gonna realize that every time that I've said I stand for STBW, whether I like them or not, I mean it. When I say that I want to be on that pedestal, when I want to be on this dollar bill, that should be.
Whoa! You want to be on the dollar bill? The dollar bill?
Absolutely. That should be me. I should be the one in the spot.
How do we get you on the dollar bill, though? I'm not quite sure. I wouldn't know how to get you on the dollar bill.
Coming soon.
Oh, really? Coming soon. Coming soon.
Hey.
That's a bold, that's a Mr. McDermott, with all due respect. That is a bold statement that you want to get on the dollar bill. I mean, I know the Wu-Tang Clan, famously sang dollar, dollar bill, yo, and Cream, get the money, dollar, dollar bill, yo. But I mean, I don't even know if Method Man and the RZA, and I don't even know if old ODB, if they could get on the dollar bill. And, but I mean, that's a big, bold claim there. But maybe when we meet this individual who reveals himself to the world, that maybe you'll have a better chance at that. I don't know.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I already think that this face should be on the dollar bill, the $5 bill.
Well, I think you want to be on first. I think you want to get that opportunity first. What you've been doing in STBW, going out there in the Devil's Playground, the backyard brawl, defeating Sean Jovi, historically defeating Sean Jovi, contributing to Sean Jovi's, definitely slippery when wet 2024. I think that you obviously want to be on that dollar first. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And this person, the surprise that you have, you want the world to see it. Hell, I want to see it.
Well, Brandon Hardcore Hobbs says he doesn't think you'll be on the dollar bill. I mean, I don't know if that's, that would be, objectively speaking, I don't know how anybody would get on the dollar bill. Don't you have to be like a president or something like that? You'd be like you can't run for president yet. You have to wait a little while, I think.
Hobbs, when you see me on the dollar bill and you see me running this whole damn country, I bet you're going to take everything.
You sure you want to run the country, though? 50% will like you, 50% won't like you. And, you sure you want that?
Everybody likes me.
You sure? You sure?
Yeah. Yes, everyone likes Nolan Money McDermott.
Okay, well, if you say so. Obviously, objectively speaking, if that's something, maybe you've done some polling. Obviously these polls this year in the presidential election seem to be pretty far off. They said one person would win and the other person wound up winning in a landslide. But who knows? Maybe you're onto something. Maybe from what you've seen from your own, I guess, internal polling, maybe your own campaign strategy over the last week and a half here, that maybe it's led you to a different strategy, which maybe will get you on the dollar bill. I don't know. That's certainly something that I guess
time will tell.
Well, time will certainly tell. And apparently time waits for no one, because time always continues to go forward. We never go backwards here. And, obviously we're also going to see you in action coming up here Thanksgiving weekend. You'll be putting up that STBW Undisputed World Heavyweight Championship against Dalton the Executioner. And we're going to see that here on the STBW YouTube channel. If you want to follow STBW, you're welcome to do that here. That's their YouTube channel. They are the Backyard Gods of Illinois. And they have occasional streams, videos. You can check them out here. They're Small Town Backyard Wrestling, STBW_Wrestling 2022. Okay, so I guess we'll have to find out who it might be, but certainly we're waiting with intense anticipation. And do you root for Tyler Fury when he goes to that other state where you've obviously been having your own battles with? That's kind of put you in an awkward spot, don't you think?
You see, the last time I went to IMF with Tyler, I sat front row, I watched him. I was his personal cameraman for him, and I got slapped.
You don't strike me as a personal cameraman, though.
No, absolutely not. And the last time I did that, I got slapped upside the head by the
Did you get paid? Did you get paid for that or no?
Hell no.
Then why were you a cameraman? You don't strike me, Mr. McDermott. You strike me, Mr. McDermott, as more of a man that wants the camera on you. Well, you want the spotlight on you. You want it to be a Chase Wakefield's wedding invitational. You want to be in the main event. You've been challenging other people that have come on here. The Brooklyn we could even say you took the Brooklyn Prodigy spot. These are guys that have been hobnobbing with Gang Rail, Sabu, and basically because of you moved them to Tuesday. You moved them to Tuesday at 7. I mean, that's, you moved them there, those Prodigies. Obviously, I'm sure they'll have a difference of an opinion on Tuesday night show. But, I mean, obviously, you just don't strike me as a cameraman.
No, you're absolutely right. I didn't get paid a damn dime for it, and I still should slap Tyler upside the head like the Switchblades did to me that night on IMF. But hey, that's okay.
But I'm sure you'll be rooting for those Switchblades against Tyler and Thomas McEntee then coming
absolutely,
up,
right? Absolutely. The Furious T's are a pile of shit, but it's okay. We'll get that. That's a conversation for another day.
Definitely another conversation.
Again, I stole the spotlight once again.
Well, and we're waiting for the and this individual certainly, obviously biding their time in order of introducing themselves to the world. I just think that's an interesting strategy there, making the world wait. It's almost like we are at a campaign rally again. It's like election night where they were waiting for hours to call the winner. They sort of called the winner of the election, but didn't call the winner of the election. I guess that's how these things go in the world of politics, in the world of Nolan Money McDermott, because obviously, but I was wondering about the glasses. I mean, do the glasses help you here on this show? Like, I know people have asked about the glasses. Do they give you good luck? What do the glasses do for you?
These glasses, exactly what I stand on, and that's business. These glasses show that I don't play around. You see, Tom, with all due respect, the difference between me and way more, trust me, you'd be way more better with a pair of these. Come on.
I have 10 lights, and unfortunately, I have 10 lights around me. I don't know if I could pull it off like you. You're obviously a champion. You're an undisputed champion. Your middle name is Money, so I don't think I could pull off what you do, sir. I don't think I have the ability to. Yeah, I can't be like you. Maybe in the next life, maybe when I get reincarnated, if I'm lucky enough, maybe I'll have those opportunities, But, certainly we're waiting here for this big surprise, this big ally that you've pulled out of your, it's a rabbit out of the hat here. I mean, obviously, do you think they're having cold shoulders, or maybe they're having, second thoughts? I mean, this would be really, this would be bad for you if they had second thoughts. I mean, that would be really, I would imagine that they're going to be here, but what if they have second thoughts? Are you concerned about that?
See, I'm not concerned about anything because, like every great magician, I have so many tricks up my sleeve. Not just one. I'm not just banking on one ally. How stupid would that be? I'm banking on so many other people. I have so many other people in my DMs that I could easily resort to. Now, am I the most liked person on this platform? Absolutely not. I don't know why. Nothing's wrong.
So you think you should be the most liked person? You think obviously?
Absolutely. I'm better than the names like Sean Jovi and everyone else that comes on.
Brandon Hobbs doesn't seem to be too impressed with you. He doesn't seem to be impressed with you. James Taylor is like, you got a lot to learn, kid. I mean, these are guys out there. James is here, and they're not impressed. I mean, what do you? Ox McCoy's had his opinions of you. I mean, management in Wisconsin's here. I mean, so you're still dealing with that obviously trivial criticism there. I mean, you got to prove him wrong. I mean, basically, you got to prove him wrong.
You wanna know something, Tom?
Sure.
I went from James Taylor. I went from him shrugging, him not knowing who I was, and now he's in the chat because I'm here. What is
Chase
that?
Wakefield was almost like he did. Well, I got to ask you, Jake Dvorak, who is with NEW Underground Wrestling, and your name came up, and he was like, who? Chase Wakefield was like, who?
It's just time for everyone to know who I am.
Well, you're going to get it. The good news is we're going to get it here in about 60 or so seconds. So we're going to get it. We're actually going to get it. We're going to finally get it here. James would like to have a conversation with you, but we're going to hold off on that because it looks like are about to have the ally that you've finally made. You've finally got an ally, and we're about to see it here. So we're excited about it, and that's going to have to wait for a night. So we're excited to see this individual and see what the plan is after all. And we'll hopefully it's a plan that really comes into fruition for you. Hopefully you run a better, hopefully you do better than the New York Giants did in overtime today. I don't know if you're a New York Giants fan, but they get the ball at overtime and they fumble on the first snap. I mean, just, that's kind of indicative of their season. Hopefully that won't be indicative of your next few weeks or few months. And leading you into that ultimate goal. So hopefully that doesn't. But we are going to see the individual that you have promised us here. They're going to be here in the next minute or so, and we're very excited about that. And if you are here, you like to follow STBW. They have a show coming up Thanksgiving weekend. You're putting up your undisputed world championship against none other than Dalton, the Executioner. So we'll have to see there, and we'll see if Nolan Money McDermott continues to wear those glasses. I say no. I say you're not wearing the glasses. But the audience will have to find out. They will have to find out. But James has a question. If we have time, actually, you know what? We don't have time because I have now been given the green light. Nolan Money McDermott. I have been given the green light to show the world this person that you've been talking about. So you ready for this? You ready?
I'm ready.
You sure?
Oh,
You want me to change your mind? You want me to end the show tonight? I can end the show if you want. End it on top. Want to go out on top? You sure? Is that your final answer to quote Regis Philbin, God rest his soul out there, right?
Final answer.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is none other than the reigning defending ALW World Heavyweight Champion and the longest reigning Blizzard Champion, the evil angel Judas himself. This is the man that Nolan Money McDermott has been talking about all night long here. And Judas, the evil angel. I didn't see this one coming.
And honestly, there was one person that did, and that was Zilla in the chat. So Zilla, I'm paying attention. So congratulations. We have one person in the chat. But if this is a surprise to you, I don't know why. Because Nolan Money McDermott and Judas, we are the top young guns in the backyard scene. We are the top guys that are eventually going to go into a ring. So I think this is perfect. It's perfect for everybody involved.
And, you guys have been dealing with the same battles. You guys have had your issues with the likes of Darkron and the likes of Big Man Cam. And you've been battling these same individuals that they seem to be attached to the hip. So naturally, two guys like yourself, shouldn't you guys be on the same page? And maybe that's what's been after all.
And I will say this. When I first came on Sportswire, when I first returned back to ALW and, caused the Judas chaos that everybody just loves to see, I returned, and Tom, you asked me this question, and it was, are there politics in backyard wrestling and in wrestling in general? And my answer was immediately yes. As you guys have stated tonight, there are veterans out there. Well, granted, we do respect them. We do respect veterans around here. But there are veterans out there that are attached at the hip, that they can't do a show without somebody else. In ALW, there are those problems. Where Nolan wrestles, there are those problems. Where everybody wrestles, there are those problems.
That's true.
So what I'm here tonight to say is, Nolan, I've seen your stuff. Man, you are one of the most entertaining backyarders I've seen to date. And I'm not just saying that because we're both young guns in this industry just starting out. But Nolan, I'm here tonight to share that, these veterans, they do have this kind of clickiness to them. So, hypothetically, what if us young guns were to, start our own little clique? Because
they're talking about their own cliques?
We all know the young guns of you, me, Dalton the Executioner, Tyler Fury, I guess if you want to Holden Holloway in ALW, Trey Mysticality, I guess. But at the end of the day, the young guns can't keep up with us. Or, excuse me, the veterans can't keep up.
The dinosaurs, as some of you have called them. I don't know if I agree with that, but...
I mean, I've heard the term old head from James Taylor, and I respect Taylor a ton, but at the end of the day, veterans behind the scenes are the old heads. So I'm here, Mr. Nolan Money McDermott, to say, what if we started our own, little group? What if we to fix the backyard scene? What if we were the ones to take over this industry? On all of my Sportswire episodes, I keep saying, the young guns. What if this?
You have been saying that. You have, even what you did to the DKW shirt famously, and even what you've said about Big Man Cam, and, you've been going out there and you've been leading the charge, and you guys have really been in many ways similar, more similar than anybody else, because you guys have been having your own problems the past few months. And it's the same people aligned. And maybe that's really where we should have saw this one coming weeks at a time. And maybe after what happened to Nolan Money McDermott these past few appearances on Sportswire, maybe this was the plan all along, and that maybe Nolan Money McDermott, you would just rope-a-dope in your opponents. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, that's what I'm trying to figure out here tonight.
See, Judas, it's nice to finally meet you, but everything you said, I can't help but to agree. I mean, we're here. We're knocking them off of their pedestal. We're here. We're taking everybody's name. We are the ones paving our own goddamn way. And I can't help to just love it's music to my ears every time you say we are the young guns. Absolutely. You get everybody on this train and we knock every single one of these old asses out of line, because that's how it goes. We knock these old heads out of their place. We put them to bed, and that is just simply money if I've ever goddamn heard it.
And you guys are both in the Midwest. I mean, you guys practically are neighbors. I mean, neighboring states. Your politics might be far different, but you are pretty much more or less in the same region. And it would make sense geographically. I mean, you're in Illinois, you're in Ohio, and, you know, you've been battling these guys in the Midwest. He's had problems with multiple states, and you've certainly had problems with multiple states, and I guess this crosses the Mason-Dixon line, interstate commerce, I suppose.
There's one thing that the old heads that they don't realize is, yeah, we may be young, we may not have a lot of experience, but if anything, that's just our advantage. I mean, we have every single opportunity to blow everybody's damn mind to show that we are the best, that we have everything to prove. I mean, they're past their time. They have nothing to prove. We all know they're veterans. We respect their veterans. We respected their body of work. But we are here to shock the system. We're here to show everybody our body of work, to show everybody what we stand for.
Well, let me ask you this question. Let me ask you both this question. There's two of you now. All right, there's two. Now, two's more than one. I don't know much about anything, but two is more than one. Do we see more of you coming in other places, other regions, and other promotions? Do you think that this is just, you guys just going to stop right here and take on these guys and take them out? Or is there more of you and maybe more of things that to come that we won't even see coming? I mean, what do you think on all that? Yes, sir.
See, a good magician never reveals his secrets.
Ah.
But there is more to come. There is more icing on the cake. There is a lot more than just me and Mr. Evil Angel Judas to come. There's a lot more of us that want the same thing that we want. So keep expecting more, baby.
So you guys have been talking to others, and there are others out there that believe in what you guys believe in against these other guys that you guys have been battling?
You know, I will say that even though we may be young guns, we may not have much experience, but in this day and age, we're smarter than what the veterans were at our age. We know when we share locker rooms, like Nolan, for example, just shared a locker room with Sean Jovi. I know Nolan's sitting backstage taking notes and learning from the experiences, because
and he defeated him. He held a victory over him.
Exactly. Hey, a win is a win. They don't ask how, they just ask how many.
That's true.
Though I know Nolan's been taking those experiences, and granted, it was one show, and let me just say, very impressed with that show. Beautiful show from both ends. But I know you're back there with your little notepad. I know you're taking notes, how to get better, how to improve yourself. And me, on the other hand, I've shared locker rooms with Big Man Cam. I've shared locker rooms with Jack Delta before.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Some people were scheduled. There were thoughts that I would work with Jack Delta before he got injured, but that's neither here nor there. But
okay.
We may be young. We may be inexperienced, but the experiences that we have, we treasure those at our age. And as of right now, the veterans in the backyard scene, it's not looking too bright for them. Their light went out years ago.
But what would you guys say? You know, James Taylor is not going to be convinced. You know, Brandon Hobbs is going to be here not convinced. I'm sure Mr. Cron not convinced. And everybody else, it doesn't matter where you are, right? These guys, you're going to say these things, and they're not going to be convinced tonight. What do you say to that? It doesn't matter. I mean, Taylor's going to say, can I talk to you? I'm going to tell you, he's going to ask you, what did you think in your favorite match and your best match? And what did you think about this? You're not going to win some of these guys over. What would you say about that?
At the end of the day, Nolan's already said he's here to make money and be famous. I, on the other hand, I agree with that. However, these veterans, it will take time for them to adjust to changes. There's something a long time ago with a man named Charles Darwin, and it was natural selection.
Yep.
I'm sure everybody's learned about that in history classes. I know veterans in the chat right now are going to be like, he just graduated, so that's why he's talking about that stuff. But at the end of the day, natural selection, survival of the fittest. And right now, us young guns, we are the fittest. We are the fittest. We are the youngest. And we are the most entertaining, whether that be on the mic, in the backyard, maybe even at commentary. We are here and making ourselves known. And if the veterans have a problem with that, I've made a career out of proving people wrong. And I'm excited to keep that going.
And you know what? Judas, we were talking about the fact that 2024 still has a long time to go, and to get to 2025 and have these aspirations that you guys have, you got to start now. You got to start building today for tomorrow. And isn't that kind of what you guys have been doing more or less then?
Exactly. We are not people that just look back and look fondly on the past. We use our past experiences to get better. Because at the end of the day, today leads into tomorrow. And that tomorrow leads into the next day. And the next day, and so on and so forth.
Zilla's all in with you guys. Zilla's all in. She's Team Young Guns, and she's a part of it. But I'm going to let James Taylor have this opportunity. He says, okay, here you go. Here's a good question. How do you plan to get over and earn everyone's respect, especially mine? What's your plan? Now, I think from what I heard, Nolan Money McDermott, now I think I know the answer to this, because you said that any good magician doesn't reveal their plan. So you're not going to tell everybody your plan here right now, right?
Hold on. James, you want an answer? I'll give you this. See, I could easily come on here with Tyler Fury, Peyton Peacemaker, but everyone's going to see that coming. I'm throwing a pitch straight out of left field. I'm throwing a curveball. I don't think anyone besides Zilla, who's a very educated person, knew that the evil angel Judas was going to come on here. Now, I can do one or two things. I can easily build up a team. We can build up the Young Guns. We can build that to fruition. However, not only are we going to show you who we are, not only are we going to come on here and we're going to talk our shit, we're going to go and beat it out of you. We're going to show it. We are going to show our capabilities. We're going to show everything we can do in that ring. Because I remember one person said in chat, I don't remember who. However, people said that just because you're on trampoline, you're on the ground, that doesn't mean that you're less than everybody else. Nah, that means that when you step into a ring, you just have more potential. Because if we can do that stuff on a trampoline, we can do that stuff on the ground. What makes you think that we can't go in a ring and do that exact same tricks?
Fair play. Let me ask you, though, this question. And there's basically, from what you're telling me, there's so many of you out there that these veterans won't know what'll hit them, right?
Absolutely. They don't see it coming. They don't see us coming. I went over here and I got an unexpected ally that ain't nobody knew that was going to happen. I mean, who thought that Nolan Money McDermott's going to take the spotlight, move the Brooklyn whoever's to Tuesday, and bring on me and Judas here tonight?
Well, I mean, that's obviously an interesting point. We'll move on from that. Liz would like to say Judas and Mr. McDermott teaming together in Wisconsin, but you guys aren't revealing plans tonight, right? I would imagine that you guys aren't revealing plans tonight.
No one said it best. No one said it best. The magician never reveals his secrets. And I want to go back to the James Taylor comment, because James, huge respect to you, man. Like, one of the best people to ever be in the backyard circuit. Like, one of them, and this is coming from a fan. Like, I'm
140,000 followers out there. He's got Stone Cold TikTok followers more than WWE wrestlers and Impact wrestlers. Sure, AEW wrestlers, but he's still not convinced.
And I will say, like I said before, I've made a career out of proving people wrong. I've been in Sportswire chats asking random questions like, but last night I was talking about how I'm sitting in Taco Bell.
Chicken quesadillas.
Dealing with that. I'm kind of on injury reserve right now because of it, but that's not here nor there. But Mr. James Taylor, I have so much respect for you, and us young guns, we demand respect, but we're not dumb. We know we have to earn that respect. We know we need to prove it.
But you have a different approach than Nolan. Nolan's approach has been basically go right for the jugular. You've been basically methodical, like you've been going out and just basically coming on here, speaking, and just basically speaking in plain, almost like having fireside chats like former President Franklin Delano Roosevelt used to do. I mean, that's basically what you're doing, whereas Mr. McDermott's like, he's going right to the link. He's going right at these guys, whereas you've been basically just going out there. You've talked about people's medical records. You've talked about people's family stuff, but you've talked about companies and throwing stuff in the garbage. And you've just been talking about it, like I said, fireside-like chats, whereas Mr. McDermott, he's just right at him. So, interesting.
And I respect Nolan for that because honestly, it takes a lot of balls to do that. Me, on the other hand, I'm more of a fan of creating moments. I've said it a million times over. Throwing the DKW hat in the trash. I mean, it's long gone.
That was a ballsy move. Maybe you were a forecaster after all. Maybe you were, I hate to say it, but maybe you knew something.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I know that a few people think that I don't. And I know what's going on in the backyard scene. I pay attention. And that's another thing with us young guns. How are we going to get over and earn respect? Nolan and I, we pay attention to the time. We pay attention to these other companies, these bigger companies that get thousands of views, have thousands of subscribers. We focus on that. And if Nolan's just like me, and I'm assuming he is, because after all, the young guns, we're the young guns. We're sitting there analyzing. We're sitting there learning. And at the end of the day, when it comes down to Nolan Money McDermott, Judas, and whatever young guns that could possibly be a part of this, we are going, once we step in that ring, we're going to...
Well, you guys used the word click. You guys tonight, what I learned, used the word click. So what it seems to me, now again, I don't know a lot about this stuff. I know very little about wrestling, but a click, from my understanding, is it's multiple people. It's more than two. It could be 4, could be 5 people. So others like you believe in what you've been doing, believe in what you've been saying, have come together for the common cause, the greater good from what you guys believe, and are going to target and go after these veterans that maybe have been bullying you guys, or maybe have been giving it to you in a way that maybe it seems heavy-handed or more one-sided. I mean, I'm just trying to parcel this out because that's what it seems like to me, more or less.
At the end of the day, the young guns are the present and the future, and we don't rely on the past. We don't rely on big names from name value from 20 years ago. We focus on today and tomorrow. Yesterday, out the window, it's gone. We can learn from it, but what we do today, like what we're doing tonight on Sportswire, this is cause for a...
and I got to tell you something, Judas. We talked about your famous moment. Your famous, was it 8/17 moment, that famous moment where you were on a deathbed and you went all the way there and won that golden gauntlet, that ticket there to get you back on top in ALW. And Nolan Money McDermott had maybe his own 10/31 moment. Your own 10, you know what? Austin had his 3/16 moment for James Taylor, but you know what, Nolan Money McDermott? I figured it out. I got you. I figured you out all along. This is what you've been telling us. You had your own 3/16 moment, your own 10/31 moment, when you pinned Sean Jovi in that elimination match, when you defeated the resident rock star, who was once America's resident rock star, America's cat dad, America's vlogger. No, he's no more of that. You pinned him. That was your Austin 3/16 moment. And Judas had famously his own Austin 3/16 moment with his 8/17 moment. That moment that everybody's still talking about on death's door, that found himself to get back on top and to reclaim that ALW championship. And tonight, in many ways, you may call yourselves the Young Guns, but it sounds like you guys might be more mega powers like. because you've taken what you've done in one state and what he's done in another state, and you've joined hands. You've joined in force to bring your powers. And from what you've told us, there's more of you, and there's more to come. And these veterans that have been talking about different things and maybe that they're not so impressed with you, they're going to find out in 2025. They may want to rethink those words and reevaluate them, because you're going to show them in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, why you guys are no longer the future, but are the present of the backyard and the underground wrestling circuit.
Absolutely. You said it better than anyone. See, we came together for one reason, and that's to earn everybody's respect. And Judas, you mentioned something. You said that we analyze. We sit back and we analyze. And you're absolutely right. I've been analyzing every aspect of the backyard wrestling scene. Every Sportswire podcast, I'm there. Every new upload, I'm there. And the reason is for that is because not only am I analyzing people to be on our side, but I'm analyzing guys like James Taylor, Omen Black. You see, it's what I don't think you guys know is I know what gets you up in the morning. I know what haunts you in the midnight. I know every single thing about you. Soldier, I could get some in uncharted territory, because you know why? We're in your head. You don't know what's coming. We're hitting you with a curveball every damn second. And if there's more to come.
Well, you know what? Maybe there is. Maybe there's something more to you guys than meets the eye. Maybe there is something different. I don't know. I mean, we're going to get to some comments here first and let them talk about it. Well, Mr. Nolan, I know one person in WC who doesn't respect you. I think we've been speaking about that person quite a bit. I have to say there's one guest, we got that, and he doesn't respect. Yep, I got that. Not saying I don't want to, Zilla, but sometimes when the veterans are giving out tough love, it's the best way to see if the young guys can hang. And, you went through this, Judas, in your own right with Mr. Kron. You went through that. But you came out on the other side. Some would say you're the one guy that came out on the other side of this.
And I will say, James, you're absolutely right about tough love. Everybody knows Big Man Cam is one of the guys that got me back into backyard wrestling. He's the guy that's been training me, helping me.
Yes.
If there's anything about tough
love, ROW champion, by the way, the man that James Taylor employs.
Yes, and probably the most dominant ROW champion that there ever will be.
He hasn't lost a match in ROW.
Exactly. Cam's doing some great stuff in ROW, but when it comes to tough love, and I can even tell you this, I went to an ROW taping with Big Man Cam, and there was a lot of tough love, especially for the new guys, and that's okay. It's wrestling. You have to earn respect somehow, and you have to not only earn respect, but learn trust, because once you get in that ring, you need to trust somebody. James Taylor said it a million times on Sportswire. That's your dance partner. That is the guy that you are supposed to keep safe, and they're supposed to keep you safe. So at the end of the day, tough love, I welcome tough love. If I can get any feedback, I'm taking it and using it, and I'm going off with it. So James Taylor, thank you for telling us about tough love, because I think that's something that gets very forgotten in the backyard scene. And when it comes to Darkron, that wasn't really tough love. That was more, I'm a star. I can do whatever I want. I can get my own locker room, not change with the boys. But
you made some points about Mr. Kron that I think were similar to the points that Mr. McDermott made about those individuals like Sean Jovi, James Marshall, Nicholas Crenson, Jonathan Pierce, the Executioner. And those were some very similar points made. You talked about the fact about Mr. Kron and just, who he knew and the friends he had. And certainly Mr. Jovi, the friends he has, Mr. Crenson, the friends he has. And those were similar points. And that's why you guys may have the same beliefs. You guys may feel the same way on these issues. And that's why you're ready to take over. And you guys have already taken over because you have your own 8:17 moment. And he has, his own 10:31 moment.
Like I said, I'm here to make memories and make moments. For the 8:17 moment, I've been asked about that so many times. It's getting silly at this point. 8:17, I'm sure there needs to be some shirt made, which hint might actually happen sooner or later. But young guns, especially like Nolan and I, we're here to create moments. We are here to pinpoint an exact time, an exact moment. You've heard it. what was it, 10:31 for you, Mr.
10:31. He had his moment pinning Jovi. You had your 8:17 moment winning the Golden Gauntlet, getting yourself the opportunity to reclaim that ALW championship just hours removed from being at death's door.
At the end of the day, this here, you know what? If we're going to make bold statements and we're going to make bold claims,
I want to hear it.
I think this is one that will get clipped. And if people want to, you know,
we're going to do it tonight. So go ahead
for us. But I'm here tonight to say the year of 2025. Now, granted, 2024 is almost over. 2025 is right next door. We're done living in the past. All of these people that keep saying, look what I did 15 years ago. I'll use James Taylor as an example. This is tough love. Posting stuff from 20 years ago on a trampoline and then going after trampoliners and backyarders. We all start somewhere. And once again, Mr. Taylor, all respect to you, but the year of 2025, Nolan's going to improve. I'm going to improve. The people that we have lined up to be a part of this revolution are going to improve. In 2025, it's no longer going to be the years of the Dark Crons. It's not going to be the years of your Sean Jovis, your Craven Rages, anybody. It will be the year of the young guns taking over the backyard scene, whether that be in the Midwest or whether that be in all of the United States.
The Northeast, you got the West, you got the Pacific Northwest, you got the Southeast. Listen, we had Anthony Arias on here from Florida the other day. Joe Starr was here from Massachusetts. Maxwell Reeves was Pennsylvania. I mean, it's a long list of people from different parts of the country. Comatose and Jacob Frost, they're in Oregon via Nebraska and Idaho. And maybe you guys are the ones that are just going to take it all over and just claim all the gold and just have this clique, this young guns clique that you've decided to form. And it's either you're in or you're out. That's what it seems like to me, gentlemen.
At the end of the day, you're either with us or you're against us. And when you're against us, we're going to make you earn that respect for us.
Is this war? Are you guys in war right now? Are you in war with these veterans? Are you right now in war? Is this a wartime battle you guys are waging or about to wage?
I mean, Mr. Money Nolan McDermott, I know that you're going straight for the jugular on these people. And that's a beautiful approach. Me, on the other hand, I'm more methodical. I pick when I want to attack someone.
Pick and choose the battles.
And I could get hate on it. I could get heat and say, oh, it's because he knows he's not going to win this feud. Oh, he knows he's not going to do this. Oh, it's because he's waiting for the right moment. This is the moment right now. The veterans, and whether that be veterans or anybody against us, we will make you earn that respect. You will have respect for us by the end of 2025, if not before. Because once again, 2024 is this close to ending. There's still this much time.
I think there's a lot of time in 2024. There's 6 weeks left, and that's a long time, 6+ weeks left. And you guys have definitely laid out what 2025 is going to look like here tonight. You guys have laid out that 2025, you guys are going to be preparing. You guys are already plotting. You guys have got people aligned with you, and you guys are ready to basically are locked and loaded, and you guys are young guns, locked and loaded. And, Jack Delta's out, and he's yesterday's news. He was a guy that everybody would have said this or that, and he's no longer. And Mr. Cron's obviously a name. We know the story there, and maybe it's set up for you guys right in your laps that you guys are going to be not just young guns, but at the top of the mountain, the top of the food chain.
Absolutely. One thing you said, Judas, you said that you pick and choose your battles. I respect it. You go from one to another. I made my name to everybody. And you see, I started with Jovi. Many people don't know this, but when I stepped in the ring with Sean Jovi, believe it or not, I took a total of 3 in-ring bumps before that match. We went on first, and I took a total of 3 bumps in that ring. And I made him earn my respect. And now it's with all these other people. It's your James Taylors of the world. It's your Dark Crons of the world.
And they want to come on and take your spotlight. Always, can you send me a link? Send me a link. They want to be on with you guys. So maybe they're feeling the heat or reading the tea leaves.
Absolutely. They want to take our spot. They want to try and shut us up. But the thing is what's eating them up is that they know we're right. They know that we are paving our own path, that we don't give a damn about the path that they've carved. They're veterans. They're great at what they do. We'll give them that. But their time is out. Their light bulbs are burned out. We're done with them. It's about us now.
And it could be anywhere you guys could show up. It could be in Wisconsin. It could be Michigan. It could be your own feds. In Ohio, Illinois. It could be anywhere. I mean, there's just young guns in a clique. That could be anywhere. It could be anywhere.
Yeah, and I do want to say the veterans of this backyard industry, they have paved the way. They have paved the road that we currently walk on. But in this day and age, we do respect what they have done. Don't get me wrong. The veterans 20 years ago was great. But we keep saying the past is the past.
But, Zilla makes a point. Do you think Darkron was jealous of you, Judas? Do you think Nolan Money McDermott was Sean Jovi jealous of you? Do you think that's the case? I mean, I don't know. I think I don't know that could be a major stretch. I don't know if that's something that's really accurate, but do you guys feel that way?
I wouldn't call it jealousy. I don't think jealousy is the right word. I think it's more, I'll paint the scene for everybody listening on Sportswire here tonight, including Nolan. If you don't know, the 8/17 moment, ALW Golden Gauntlet, I had a championship match earlier in the night. And right before this event, 2 days before, I was in the ICU. I had the worst 3 days.
You were nearly
3 days
dead.
of my life. I had acid in my blood, almost, Judas almost croaked.
Yes.
Lost the championship match because, let's face it, I wasn't prepared. I wasn't ready. But went in, and I won that Golden Gauntlet. I pinned Trey Mysticality, and people can complain and cry and say whatever in the crowd. But I was the last entrant. Was it luck? Maybe. But I pinned Trey Mysticality. And when I had my moment, I stood the champion. We don't mention his name on Sportswire, but I stood the former champion in the eye, looked at him and said, one more match is all I need. Darkron's music hits. Why would Darkron's music hit at an he was in the gauntlet, he got pinned, but why would the music hit? Comes out, starts promoting DKW. Starts promoting a certain show that we were supposed to have. And that didn't sit well with me. And when I called him out, I was attacked. He got in my face. Granted, I did throw the first shove. I did shove him out the way because I was trying to leave and, get the people home because it was getting late. But shove, and then I get attacked when I'm talking about all these veterans that are stinking up locker rooms. And I don't see it as jealousy. I don't think Darkron has ever been jealous of me. Whether he should be or not, that's up for everybody else to decide.
Yeah, I would have to say I don't think that's an accurate description. I don't know certainly about the other person that'll name nameless in ALW. That's a different call. Obviously, we'll have to find out. Il Drago talked, I think, in reference to Mr. McDermott, because I didn't really hear Judas talk much about the foundation. I think that's reference to you, Mr. McDermott. But obviously, Miss Liz wants to also say that Jovi was not jealous of Mr. Nolan Money McDermott. That's what Liz is telling us. I have a feeling we're going to let Mr. Taylor speak for a few minutes to sign off when we get ready to do that. But what I've learned tonight, I know, but what I've learned tonight, though, is that a Young Guns clique is forming. They have a bond. One had an 8/17 moment. The other had a 10/31 moment. One laid supreme in Ohio. The other one had his moment in Wisconsin. But they're both bonded by the same cause. They're both bonded by the same core. And they're speaking up. They're rising up. For those that have been in the trampoline, those that have been on the ground, those that have been on the mat, and those that want to lay claim to being the youth of the backyard, They're no longer the youth of the backyard. They're no longer the future. The present is here. The future is here. And 2025 is on the cusp. It's on the cusp of being here. But what I've learned right now is that the STBW undisputed champion of the world, Nolan Money McDermott, he's got friends. He's got friends in a big one. And an evil angel himself, Judas, a man who holds not one but 2 world heavyweight championships. And they're together. And apparently what we've learned is that they've got more friends. They've got more friends, more allies. And over the coming weeks on Sportswire Radio, we're going to meet them. We're going to meet those people. And they're no longer alone. I don't know what their ultimate plans will be. But I'll tell you what. Certainly tread very lightly. Tread very, very lightly. Because they could be coming to a state near you, a promotion near you. And very well with these 2 men, they may not have, on the surface, much in common. One certainly comes across full of money and certainly wears glasses here on the air and certainly is fresh in his approach and just jumps in on people's streams and is just confident in who he is. The other one's more methodical. The other one's well-dressed, well-spoken, almost as if he was born to shine on the bright lights in the biggest stage. I mean, after all, that's what he does. Figuratively and literally, he even teaches those how to be comfortable on the stage. But what I've learned is that these 2 individuals, they have a lot more in common than maybe anybody else that I've learned from. And I can't wait to watch it. And these 2 men, I'll tell you what, them together and with more friends behind them, definitely could very well be ain't no stopping us now. Liz would like to say, let's go to Zilla. Zilla's aligned with the Young Guns. She's with the Sinners. Il Drago says, you young Usos must have also forgot. I'm a foundation member, so I have a challenge. Come to the IMF 2-on-1 handicap match with the Samoan Dragon. All wrestling matters. Earn respect like a real Samoan. That's to you.
They all want me. They always have my name in their mouth. What does that say? What does that say? Everything that I've been doing on these past couple weeks has been doing nothing but working.
Well, you've got a friend. You've got a friend and a heavy hitter. You've got a young gun who's basically referenced this. And I do have a request from Mr. Nolan Money McDermott to see how long can he go with the true cornerstone of WC and Mr. Judas. Would he want a team with Mr. Nolan? Well, we'll have to find that answer out later this week. But before we sign off, gentlemen, he is here. He wants to have a few words. And that is ROEW owner James Taylor, the nemesis, the legendary Tyrant King, is going to certainly give his thoughts. And I let him have those thoughts right now.
How are you gentlemen doing?
I was doing much better about 15 seconds ago.
Oh my God, those are fighting words.
I'm not here to fight with you, buddy. I'm
not.
I'm not here. I was coming on here trying to be professional. Believe me, the last thing you want to do is get my attention. In that way. I really just wanted to come on here, and I'm listening to y'all, and I was trying to make some comments to where sometimes you can read a text and not understand, and I understand that. The concept behind it. See, I started on the trampoline, and I'm not going against trampoliners. I support trampoline wrestling because I started on the trampoline and I know what it's like. If anything, I like to give my 2 cents on it because I've done it and I could still do it if I wanted to. I transitioned from the trampoline to the ground, wrestled on the ground for years, taking flat back bumps on the ground like you would in the ring. And it was hard at first, but then I started to get used to it. But then it is what it is. And then when I got into the ring, it was like nothing for me. I'm a bump master, I guess, if you want to call it. But it's beside the point. It's the fact that I've paved the way. Compared to a lot of these other veterans, I'm not going to speak on their behalf. They're more than welcome if Tom ever lets them come on here or y'all ever reach out to them.
Well,
these
some
other
of them
guys
have been here, James, and they'll probably be here tomorrow.
Yeah, everybody is taking their own path in this business, but I wouldn't waste my time with guys like y'all or anybody for that matter if I didn't appreciate, respect, and love this business because this is my life. And to see these guys such as yourselves, these new up and comers coming into the frame. I didn't have YouTube back then. Y'all have a platform that I helped pave the way for. Here you are, and you've got a better way to expose yourself and show yourself to the world than what I had. I'm just now getting to share with the world my old days. If you haven't been paying attention to my channel, I've been posting a lot of my older stuff because the rest of the wrestling world hasn't seen it. This is what I recorded on VHS tapes.
Have you
Probably
guys
something
heard
you
of a
never seen in
VHS?
person.
Have you guys heard of a VHS?
Yes, I've heard of a
Believe
VHS.
it or not, I grew up with VHS tapes. That's where I would watch
Yeah.
stuff. So I get it. I get the VHSs.
I would never have guessed that.
So I finally got everything digital. But beside the point, you guys continue to do what you do. Some veterans are going to show you like they just don't care because they don't believe you. Just step up. Let's do this. Let's do that. Blah, 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 blah. But there's so much to learn. And how long have you been doing this now, guys? Like, okay, first of all, Judas, how long have you been doing this?
I have been doing backyard I started when I was 13 and got back into it maybe 2.5 years ago.
Okay. So then there you go. And then McDermott, McMuffin, whatever you want to call yourself, just messing
Let's get
with you.
one thing.
Okay.
Let's get one thing straight. You come on here, you're gonna respect who I am.
Whoa. Let's just
And anytime I get on here, I'm gonna get my respect, and you're gonna respect me. Okay, so that's how it's gonna go. Respect your elders.
You want respect, James? I'll tell you right now. I have respect for you. I have respect for you. You've done a lot for this community. You've done a lot for Sportswire. You've done a lot for the backyard wrestling business. Hats off to you. However, you said respect is not given, it's earned. How about you earn my respect? How about I earn your respect? 2025, I'm all for going to Michigan, ROEW.
What? Wait. Time out. No money McDermott. Correct me if I'm wrong. I might have to get my ears checked, and I might. There's a lot of things I might need to get checked. But did you just tell me and tell the world that you want to go to Michigan and ROEW in 2025?
You heard it right, Tom.
ROEW is.
And Judas, you know how to get there, by the way. You actually know how to get there.
But say, yeah, I've worked with a lot of the guys at ROEW. I took a trip up there to learn some stuff. And obviously, Mr. Taylor running that company, that is that is the greatest backyard company there is today. Most professional, most professionally ran. And being able to learn from those people, it was an experience. So, Nolan, I will say, I don't want to speak for Mr. Taylor here, but Nolan, I will say, if you get the chance to go to ROEW, take that opportunity. Even if you don't wrestle a match, get to learn, get to talk to the Jack Deltas, talk to the CJ Blacks, talk to everybody.
Jason Storm, yes.
Because I learned,
JX.
And trust me, this
young gun thing that we're doing, this clique that we're starting, it would not happen without that. Now, granted, 2025 is our year, but as of right now, ROEW's the top.
And
if we can make it to the top, I mean, I think that's.
Oh, he did that sign, James Taylor. He did that sign, and they've got apparently more allies. They've got more of them. More of them are on the way.
James, whenever and wherever that we step foot in the ring with each other, I want you to remember this moment. You will earn my respect. I'm gonna climb that ladder, and as of right now, I do have respect for you. But the point is that I don't think you understand what I'm here to do. I don't think you understand what we're here to do, and that is to make you respect us. So whether you like it or not, whether you want to believe it or not, whether you want to accept it, the point is that this is our time, that this is our year. 2025 is our year. This is our spotlight. And James, there's not a damn person that is going to do anything about it. James, I want you to enjoy your moment. I want you to enjoy your time right now. because you will wash away, and we are going to be the reason
But
behind.
I would just say one thing though to defend Mr. Taylor, unlike some of the other names that you would certainly have some issues with, he does have 140,000 followers. So, I mean, he will always have the Stone Cold TikTok. So that
And
be
it's just climbing too.
what the last one get, like 380 likes last I checked. I haven't been on TikTok in like
Yeah,
2
I've
hours.
I've been averaging this past week every day probably about 50-60,000 views a day. So
I mean, I will
followers are
just
just
say that
flowing
now
in.
the other individuals you might have some valid points on. Mr. Jovi, Mr. Kron potentially,
See,
other names.
anywhere, Tom knows this. Anywhere I go, it doesn't even have to be ROEW. It could be IMF. It could be anywhere. But anywhere I go, I bring the views and I bring the
I mean, the
numbers.
views are up tonight on Sportswire. The views are up. Well, actually, I did pretty well yesterday. Actually, yesterday the views did come back. Thank God. We had Brad Coleman and Joe Starr, but the views are back up. So the views are up.
And I know
Judas.
Tom's on a time limit right here, but I was just gonna.
Well, we are late, but I think I do want to let a couple of comments come out here. Obviously, this has been quite a night. I think it's a dawning James Taylor potentially of a new era of
Yeah,
young guns.
I'm excited for the era because I'd like to see it because you could be. Where are you? You in Florida? Where are you guys at?
Well, Judas is in Ohio. Judas is actually he's been backstage in your promotion in ROEW.
Judas.
Actually, Judas knows how to get
Okay,
to your
Judas
company.
is in Ohio,
And Mr.
and
McDermott's in
McMuffin
Kewanee.
is where?
Kewanee, Illinois.
He's in Hawaii.
No, that's President Obama. Kewanee, Illinois. Kewanee, Illinois is where he is. Kewanee, Illinois.
Kewanee, Illinois.
Have you
So
been to Kewanee, Illinois, James?
no, not lately. So it's the thing, and I know he's gonna get to the comments. That's fine, but just let me say this last thing, okay?
All right.
It's real easy to stand in front of a screen 500, 1,000 miles away, wherever it is that you're at, and talk a bunch of trash. But it's a whole lot different when the guy is this close to you and you talk all that shit. So keep that in mind. It's okay to feel brave right now. But whenever you do, one day you both will. And Judas, I already got a lot of respect for you because I can see how professional you are. But Mr. McDermott, money, whatever you want to call yourself, you got a lot to learn, kid. And it's great to be brave, but it's even better to show how brave you are in person. So the day you meet James Taylor, bring that fire. Because I'm not going to expect any less because there's one little individual person that talked a lot of trash like you. And I'm going to give his name real quick. And it was a guy by the name of Xavier Thorne. And when he met James Taylor in person,
what happened? I'm sure I know the answer.
he flaked. He didn't want to say it up. He wanted to meet me, he wanted a picture, but he did not want to train with me. He did not want to show me anything. He didn't want me to show him nothing. He claimed he knew everything that he was doing. And when the guys made him get in the ring with me, I said, let me give you a body slam. He goes, I'm too big. You're not going to pick me up. So I was like, let me give you a scoop slam. I gave him a scoop slam. Let me tell you what this kid did. He said, okay, I'm done. I need to save my bumps for my match. So that was the only person I've ever met in person that has ever done that. That made me, he didn't earn my respect that day because he just showed me how fake he was. But if I meet you in person, if I meet anybody in person, one thing you're going to learn about me is when I show up anywhere I go, the first thing I do after I shake everybody's hand, I say hello to everybody, I greet everybody, I find out where the location of the ring is, I run right into that ring, I say, I'm going to hit the ropes, and I'm going to do a couple of bumps, you cool with that? They're always like, yeah, go for it. And then I start getting swarmed by all this talent. Hey, man, what can you show me? Hey, what can you show me? Hey, you want to do this? Hey, can I try this? What do you think of this, James? And I love it. I actually enjoy that more than I actually do doing matches. You know that? So I challenge you, Judas, McDermott, any of you guys, if you ever meet me in person, I challenge you to beeline towards me and do that. Last thing, here's a good reason. Jack Delta, a big name, and I hope that he has that speedy recovery and he comes back really quick. Former ROEW world champion, one of the greatest of all time. Absolutely. And this is me blowing a bunch of smoke, but I mean it. When I first met the kid last year, The second I showed up, I don't know why. I wasn't looking for him, but he was looking for me. He beelined to me to shake my hand. That means a lot to veterans that actually give a damn. You're going to see veterans that don't really give a fuck. I'm sorry, but then you will meet veterans who are very appreciative and respectful, who love that stuff. So there's my veteran advice. Whenever you
Well,
meet
that's
somebody for the first time,
interesting. And I'm going to say on Mr. Thorne, no comment. Wish him well. Obviously, we wish him all the best. No comment on that. Please, no comment on that. Obviously, certainly, beeline has been made for Judas to go to Wisconsin and Appleton. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Liz respects James Taylor. Zilla would never wrestle on the ground, but would love to wrestle on the trampoline in the ring. And Il Drago, by the way, 13 years. He had a 13-year career, by the way. 13 years he has been doing this, by the way. He respects everybody, and he hopes to see both of you guys in the IMF. And it could be possible. You never know. I mean, that's well, Mr. McDermott, you've actually helped Tyler Fury take photos or whatever it was. And Judas, you're obviously focused on other things, but you'll see. And obviously, this was just quite a show. And before I do anything else, I actually do. There's something I promised, and I won't do it, but I'm going to do it, actually. I like to give my thoughts and prayers to one of my former employers, former United States Congressman Michael Grimm, who unfortunately, it was an article today here locally in the New York Post and in the Staten Island Advance that he is actually could potentially be paralyzed. And he's a man that I have an interesting history with, and I'd like to give my thoughts and prayers to him because that's a heavy thing. He was training to be, he got into horseback riding, and unfortunately he fell off a horse. Almost like, think of Christopher Reeve, if you're a fan of Superman, almost kind of like the same type of incident. It looks like he's not going to be able to walk for the rest of his life. So I'd like to be able to give my thoughts and prayers to him. He's a man that I have a history with, and you could see it here. There he was. When he was standing on a podium. Now he's not standing on a podium, but I do want to give my thoughts and prayers to him. There was obviously a lot of people have been raising money for him. I sent in a donation, but I do want to give my thoughts and prayers to him. I know we're focused on, taking over, the backyard wrestling circuit, and we're focused on, obviously James Taylor and Dark Kron and the IMF and everybody else. But I do, if you can, just give your thoughts and prayers to former Congressman Grimm, my congressman, a man that was kind of my employer for a brief period on one of his campaigns, and he had a really tough injury about 3 months ago. So I'd like to give my thoughts and prayers to him, and please everybody keep him in your thoughts and prayers. But okay, enough about that. Obviously, I want to end here with some closing thoughts, and I'm going to go first with Nolan Money McDermott. Something tells me I'm going to be seeing you once again here on Sportswire this week, probably. But I like to pass the baton to you now that you have some friends, now that you had a plan, and anything else you want to plug, share, or say. Floor is yours.
James, I'm glad you came on here tonight. Because there is one thing. You're a legend. You coming out here, you're talking about respect. You're talking about advice. But it's what you don't realize is that I'm thriving off of people like you. I'm thriving off of people like you coming on here, wanting to talk to me. You talk about proving. If we can hang with people like you under pressure, James, I want you to remember. I want you to remember my name. I want you to remember who I am, because one day we will cross paths. One day, me, Judas, and whoever else we pick up, we will cross paths. And you are going to respect me, whether you like it or not.
I'll tell you what, Nolan Money McDermott, you definitely on the microphone are definitely money. And we'll see if that will transition you into the ring now that you've gone from trampoline to the ring. Certainly in 2025, if you want to follow Nolan Money McDermott, that is his Instagram page. He only needs one post because, well, he's full of money. He gets money, and he's the STBW undisputed champion. And he has defeated, oh, by the way, Sean Jovi, the former America's resident rock star, who was foundation. Yeah, 4 up, 4 down, but Nolan Money McDermott put him down in that historic Devil's Playground Backyard Brawl elimination match. But thank you, Nolan Money McDermott. I am going with the Evil Angel, who had his historic 817 moment, and he had another moment tonight. You might want to say it was even the 11:10 moment here tonight on Sportswire Radio. I am going to pass the baton to him, put up his Instagram page shortly here. So the Evil Angel Judas, we want to give you the floor, and anything else you'd like to plug, share, or say, be my guest and fire away, champ.
So I will say that, James, Nolan and I, we have the same goal in wrestling. Nolan goes more for the juggler approach. Me, on the other hand, I go for a little bit more laid back until it actually happens. I wait for my moment, and everybody in the backyard scene knows that at this moment. So, James, I just want to say, first of all, huge respect to you for coming out tonight, because honestly, it's taking time out of your day to help the young guns of this industry, which it takes a lot. It takes a lot from anybody. And like I said earlier tonight, Nolan and I are sitting at shows. I have a notebook. I go through things that people say to me. I go through and I try to get better. I take whatever I can do to improve, whether that be on the mic, bumping in the ring, still learning the basics of that. But at the end of the day, 2025, I am so excited. I have Nolan by my side right now, and who knows who we can pick up on the way. I know a few off the top of the dome right now. But I will say, 2025, for anybody listening, it will be the year of the young guns. And like I said, I've made a career out of proving people wrong. I am praying that we can prove everybody in the backyard scene wrong. And Mr. Taylor, I am excited to not only get your respect, but earn your respect in the year of 2025.
Oh, wow. I'll tell you what, the young guns have arrived, and they are coming, I think, with more help. Help is on the way. They've got friends. They've got allies. A clique has been formed, and you could see it right there, that historic moment, and you could just see Judas, that was the moment. He was born 8/17. You could see Mr. Kron, and Judas has got plans, and he's methodical, and I'll tell you what, I cannot wait to see it all unfold here on this platform and elsewhere. That's Judas's Instagram page. Go out there and please follow him. And I can assure you, you will definitely want to be on their journey. Either you're in or you're out. That's all I could say. Mr. Taylor, I want to give you the floor, the last words tonight. Anything else you'd like to plug, share? Say, boy, did I see what Jason Storm had to say for CJ Black and Big Man Cam anniversary. Certainly, Big Man Cam's days as RBW champion could be coming to an end 30 days from now. That's what Mr. Storm had said. Also, Mr. Black, obviously, he said some things about his family. I'm not repeating on this platform, but certainly, I'm sure we'll talk about that on this platform very soon. But until then, good sir, I know you were obviously hobnobbing with the Hulkster. You've come back here instead. You went from Hulk Hogan to Sportswire. Yeah, you definitely went down the totem pole here tonight. But no, but for me, really, but Nolan, Money, McDermott, and Judas are going to obviously surpass Hogan and yourself in 20 years from now. But until then, I'm going to pass the baton to you and give you some closing thoughts so I don't go into Xavier Thorne territory. So fire away, good sir.
Well, I mean, yeah, I met Hulk Hogan the other day for the first time, and I mean in person. I've seen him live because I'm an older guy, but I did get to meet Hulk Hogan.
Well, to be fair,
to
Big Man Cam met Hogan first, by the way, just to let you know.
There you go. But Big Man Cam, he's got a championship that he needs to defend at the anniversary show, so be sure to check that out. It's going to be a hell of a event for sure, and I'm just interested to see what's going to happen between CJ Black and Jason Storm for the future of that. You guys, so Judas, everything you said is top notch, and my hat's off to you on that. Keep doing what you're doing, because as long as you're doing your homework, you're always going to learn. And if you're always studying this business, no matter what it is, whether it's studying matches, studying promo work, you're always going to pick up something from it, and you can somehow twist it and turn it into your own. That's what I do. A lot of people give me the crack of you're just a Stone Cold knockoff. Well, I mean, if you really pay attention, I'm more like if you put Triple H and Stone Cold together, you mesh them together, you actually get James Taylor, because I talk more methodical like Triple H, but I have the attitude and the intensity of Stone Cold. But really, that's me. But beside the point, keep doing what you're doing. You're gonna figure it out. The same thing with you, Money. Yeah, I'll just call you Money for now, because I'm not gonna turn the dial up on it right now. But you said earlier that you're going to make me respect you. One thing you can't ever do with James Taylor is make me do anything that I don't want to do. Anthony Steele, with all due respect, I know he gets brought up a lot. Sometimes we're very
He's here
controversial,
today. He's going to
but
be here too. I'm sure we'll all be seeing
but
him later today. I'm sure
he
Mr. McDermott will be here. You'll be here. And maybe even Judas wants to meet him. Who knows?
So he's a very controversial figure, but four
Yeah.
years ago, 3 years ago, he was kind of in your same spot where he demanded respect for me. He said he was going to make me respect him, and then when I met him in person and we had our match, and it was a battle of the bulls right there, young gun versus the old school, and I busted him open. He busted me open, but he earned a little of my respect that night. But then the second match we had, and he might not ever admit this, but you can ask him. If you go and watch the footage, you'll actually see, because behind the scenes, after the camera's cut off, you can, if you asked him privately, he'd probably admit it. When he finally defeated me in our second match, the first match, I beat him. He went to shake my hand. I gave him another stunner to put the
Yep.
exclamation point on the end of that ass kicking. But the second match, he went to shake my hand again, but he was worried I'd give him a stunner. But I shook his hand and I raised his hand, and he earned my respect that night. And he said that was probably the greatest thing that he had earned. There's a lot of things he's done in his business, in his career, but when I raised his hand because I meant it and it was genuine and it was real, and I left the ring and let him have his spotlight, that's where you know that your respect is earned by somebody, no matter who it is. It's at least a veteran like myself. When you earn my respect, you'll know, because it'll be, just think of what happened last year at SummerSlam with Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar. What did Brock Lesnar do? His last match we've seen, he's a beast. He doesn't really give a crap about anybody. And at the end of that match, he just stared Cody down. And what did he do? He hugged him and he raised his hand, showing respect. That's what I do. That's what a true veteran does. So if you want to earn my respect, Mr. Money, or Judas, or anybody that's watching, or anybody for that matter, especially me though. If we ever have that path that we cross and we're gonna have a match, you earn my respect in that match. I'll show you at the very end. Win, lose, or draw, it doesn't matter. But other than that, guys, that's all I got. Tom, it's always a pleasure to come on here, and I really do appreciate you. And yep, there's the Hulkster right there, and you can see it's coming up after he does that. He shakes the one guy's hand, then he shakes my hand. He said, "I thank you, brother," and told him I loved him because Hulk Hogan was the very first man I ever saw wrestle, and he was like a hero to me because I was 3 years old watching him body slam Andre the Giant, and
Wow.
from there I was hooked because I'm as old as WrestleMania.
Wow. That's a really interesting story. I have a cousin.
True fact. So
I have,
here you go. He's got to shake that guy's hand, then he shakes my hand. I shook the
yeah.
Hulkster's hand.
I have a cousin who's got to be now about 50 or so, and he was born. He was born 76. He went to like night shows like when Bob Backlund was the WWF champion. So that's like
Awesome.
that era. Yeah. But there's the Hulkster. If you want to follow James on Instagram, that's his Instagram page. He's on YouTube, TikTok. He's just everywhere, and he's blowing up literally. And go out there and support him. He's also the owner of ROBW. ROBW, of course, as Judas correctly pointed out, is our favorite company. It's our top one here in the backyard wrestling circuit. They're ROBW Underground now, though, so make sure it's ROBW Underground on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. Make sure you check them out there. And that's our story. We're sticking to it. And yes, thank you, Zilla, for the prayers for former Congressman Graham. Definitely a man who, actually, I hate to say it, he's very much like Nolan Money McDermott. I like Nolan Money McDermott. I liked you a lot more than working for Congressman Graham, because Congressman Graham was, he was like you, but he was a congressman, but you were a lot more likable. I liked you more. Don't worry. I liked you a lot more than Congressman Graham, but I shouldn't say that because he's actually right now paralyzed, but we had an interesting history, a long one, but I'm not going to talk about that here on this platform. I'm going to do the Xavier Thorne words. I just said no comment. I'm going to say no comment. Otherwise, I am praying for him though, but I'm definitely not praying for you guys because I think you guys are here. You're the future, the present, and I can't wait to see what all three of you do coming up here for the rest of this year and in 2025, especially for Michigan, Ohio, Illinois, Wisconsin, who knows, wherever else. Today, we learned young guns have been formed and an alliance has been made with more to come. And that includes the STBW undisputed champion Nolan Money McDermott coming off his historic victory over Sean Jovi in that famous elimination match at the Devil's Playground Backyard Brawl. Also, we're joined here by the ALW Blizzard champion of the world, the evil Angel Judas. Some would say maybe made Jack Delta run for the exits, and some would say maybe made Darkron think about some other plans. Actually, no, we're just kidding on that. But maybe, who knows? But Big Man Cam at least is not here, so we made Big Man Cam go somewhere else to the state of Michigan. That we can confirm. Just don't ask Rosa. And we are here with the legendary ROEW owner, the man that has 140,000 plus followers, the Tyrant King, the Nemesis James Taylor, also the host of the Nemesis Sessions. He is also the man that owns the PWF. Well, he owned it, but I own it now. But he can still own it if he wants. The promo free of charge, by the way. But he is the owner. He was the owner of the Promo Wrestling Federation. Yes, you can tell we're getting to the witching hours. And my name is the artist formerly known as the Reverend Tom Bryce, still the artist known as Tom Bryce. And I'll be here twice today with Hybrid, the former OK 24/7 champion in CCW, though part of me hopes he cancels because my voice hurts. And Anthony Steele will be here later tonight. And I'm sure we'll see maybe all three of you. Maybe all three of you will meet him. Who knows? He always likes to meet people. So that'll be one for the ages, the IMF US champion. But until then, thank you everybody here for tuning in. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on the number one global radio station that is Sportswire Radio, where all wrestling matters. And we'll see everybody 3 o'clock Eastern time and later in the evening with Anthony Steele. Yes, I'll be drinking Mountain Dew instead of water, James. But thank you and have a good night, everybody. We'll see you.